especially in a world where you can do an entire movie just sitting in front of a green screen. It's really fun to get to interact with the environment and feel everything and actually go through what the journey that the characters are on in the story.
Well, first of all, Martin, I need to tell you how much I adored this movie.
Oh, good.
Yes, oh my gosh, I was stressed, I was laughing, but I was also still really in the Christmas spirit. So
All the Christmas music really helps, I think.
it was a great combination. I loved it. So of course, I would love to know what attracted you to the film and made you want to get involved in the project.
I had a connection through the Chatel, who was one of the producers. He also produced this movie Dead Snow 2 that I did in Norway. Um, or we shot in Iceland, but it's a Norwegian movie. So that's how I initially was reached out. Chatel reached out about it. But I really like the script. Honestly, I didn't quite see it in the tone initially that we hit, it's really fun to see how much things can change in the edit and how much it just feels so like 90s throwback horror movie, like monster movie vibes. It just like takes me back to my childhood. You just don't see a lot of, especially with the direction that, like Marvel can make these movies that look um I don't know. It's just a throwback to what I loved about watching movies when I was a kid and what made me want to be an actor.
Christmas horror is definitely a very specific subgenre, and I've always really enjoyed it.
Oh,
I'm
good.
interested
Were you
on.
familiar with Denise?
I don't think so, actually. No.
Yeah. I don't know why you would be. It's a very I had no idea what it was until working on this movie.
Oh, well, then I'm definitely going to put it on the list. But yeah, no. What are your thoughts on stories that kind of put a gruesome twist on the holidays?
It's fun to feel. I don't know. I like sitting down with some popcorn and lighting the fireplace and getting to snuggle up with family and watch something that reminds you how fun the holidays are, while also being a little bit gruesome and funny and playful and hopefully a little bit scary at times. But uh, yeah, I guess it depends how sensitive you are.
Well, kind of in that same vein, what is it like, when you're filming the same movie and you're going back and forth between these scenes where you're putting up Christmas lights and you're doing Christmas activities and then you have to switch gears and you're fighting for your life?
It's fun. I like it. I like shooting the action sequences. I think more than it's fun, kind of figuring out how to I don't know. All the play fight stuff is fun. Like rehearsing for that for days and trying to make that look as seamless and good as possible is really a fun part of movie making for me.
Can you give me any insight onto the stunts and the action sequences? Because there are so many fun, chaotic scenes, especially in the second half of the film.
There are very few digital effects other than a little bit on the chase sequence, but the majority of it was all practical effects. And we all got splattered with blood when the cop gets killed, and all that was real. It's fun. I don't know. It's especially in a world where you can do an entire movie just sitting in front of a green screen. It's really fun to get to interact with the environment and feel everything and actually go through what the journey that the characters are on in the story.
With this being a horror comedy, how does the comedy aspect kind of play into your reactions versus if this was a straight up horror? Are there any nuances you add to kind of really add in that comedic element?
I don't know. Comedy is my jam, so I think that's a natural. But I'm not as familiar with just straight horror. I haven't really played in that area yet, but yeah, comedy is just always fun. It's always fun to try and figure out what is going to get a laugh, and my instincts are always to play subtlety, but there's some bigger moments in this movie for sure. It's fun. I don't know.
You mentioned this earlier, but I know the film takes place in Norway. Is that actually where you guys shot this?
My cousin lives in Norway. I'll take any excuse to go hang out with him for a while. He actually worked on the movie with us.
Oh, really? That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm guessing like you were on location. How was filming in that estate and the barn? I mean, it was a beautiful place you guys were at.
It certainly had its difficulties. We didn't get snow. I don't know if you've heard of global warming. This isn't a political message here, but we didn't get the snow that they usually get around that time. I think it was November, late November, and so we had to actually bring snow in by the truckload to make it feel the way that we needed it to for the movie. So that's fun. But overall, it's just such a beautiful place to be up in the mountains in Norway, and the people are so sweet, and it's one of I mean, everyone learns English so young. I think in second grade they start learning English, so communication isn't an issue, which obviously can be difficult in other parts of Europe and parts of the world. But there, it's wonderful, and I don't know, the people are just so sweet and nice and hardworking. And we also shot half the movie in Lithuania on stages there. So and that was also beautiful. I had never been to Lithuania before, so
I really enjoyed your character. I thought that he was this very just positive, kind of happy-go-lucky guy. What was it like bringing this energy to him? I mean, did you kind of add anything in that you felt could kind of elevate the character?
It's certainly fun to get to play that kind of character. It makes you happy. It's generally nice to not play a miserable character, because it just kind of seeps in, and it can become depressive. So it's really nice to just be the happy-go-lucky guy for a bit of a change. Yeah, it's fun. It's also a fun kind of comedy to play with, to be like the not the most kind of not the brightest bulb in the box, but just happy all the time. Ignorance is bliss.
At the end of the day, this is also really kind of a film about family. It's very in line with the Christmas spirit of everything. So how was it building that family dynamic with the rest of the cast?
We all got along great. And it's, Towns, the boy who played my son, was actually American, and they moved to Norway during the pandemic. And so he was a local hire, but still was an American kid. And Zoe was from Norway, but her mom was American, so her accent was great. And but I don't know, it's always nice to get to work on a movie like this, where you're in such close quarters and you get to kind of make friends with new people and get to know new people. And it's like summer camp or winter camp in this case.
Well, I've got kind of a hard one for you, but if you had 3 words to describe this movie for someone who has not seen it, what would they be?
Norwegian happy times. That's it.
Those are good.
Yeah. I don't know if that really sums it up at all, but put on the spot, I did my best.
You did. I loved it. Awesome. Well, lastly, with this coming out, I just wanted to ask, what other projects you might have on the line? Is there any updates on, I mean, I don't know, Tulsa King or Party Down or anything else you might be involved in?
We're going back to Tulsa King early next year. And then I don't know, it'd be great to go back to Party Down, but we haven't heard anything yet.